Hey everybody, it's Chris with Dropped Dice. I didn't do a title screen because I wasn't paying attention to myself. If you guys want to see one, I guess I could do that real quick. Title screen. This is episode 1 of Shaoyun. We're starting in the Bongwang Union, and I think we're going to do the pre-written adventure that's inside the book. Mainly because this is the start of our adventure, and frankly, people who want to check out Shaoyun, this is the adventure that would come with the book. It gives you a chance to see how I would run it, but it is your game ultimately, so feel free to make changes, adapt it, and make it your own. With that said, let me open up my book here, and we'll go ahead and get started. Actually, while I'm doing that, let's talk about our characters, because I know that you guys were working on them before, but I do want to just take a moment to do names and such not. And if you could put your names in the chat, that'd be super helpful for me. We'll start with Tom Prime.
Hello, everyone. I'm playing. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing all the words correctly.
Vikings of Icarus Online Alliance.
Someday. No. All right. Anyway, I'm playing Kailin. I am a white witch, and I am a Kisang, basically a sort of fantasy equivalent to a geisha, who has a deep, dark secret. Well, it's not that dark. She's secretly a princess, but don't tell anyone.
Is that how she handles it when she meets new people? I'm secretly a princess, but don't tell anybody.
Slightly more tactful than that.
Hey, no, it's perfect because nobody will believe you. Nobody will believe anybody because you just sound like a crazy lady. Little they know it's all true.
All right. What was it? Totemus Prime? Is that what we're going with?
No, Tomatron.
Tomatron.
Like Megatron. There's Tom Prime, which is obviously Optimus Prime is Tom Prime.
Or no,
Megatron.
Murdoch. He's Tom Scream.
So people watching this, don't pay attention to what we're calling them because it's going to be something new every single week. You're not going to be able to keep track. Don't even.
Well, my name is also Tom, and my character's name is Tangmu. He is a Hanusa, which is a medicine type man. He is a Soga, which means he's an alien-like appearance. He is very much into. He's a traveling healer who uses tea leaves and incense that he's actually made himself through using tea leaves and use that to heal. And he's very much of a herbal and crunchy granola type person.
Okay. And Murdoch?
I'm playing Jiyong. I think that's how you say it. He is a what is a Jeja, the kung fu person-y.
Yep.
He is void through and through. He's a child of the Lotus Void. He has I think it's Vanta Black is the term for it. Eyes, which means they actually it's almost as if that space doesn't exist to your brain.
The more I think about it, it's deeply frightening for people who interact with it.
Oh, it's deeply crazy.
Like, that's nightmare fuel.
It is nightmare fuel. So he's his goal is to seek balance in all things.
Like every time he blinks, it's like a moment of reprieve from the absolute oppression of the black spheres that you have for eyeballs.
Yep.
We're all like, oh God, thank you.
All right, Jeremy.
What's up?
Your turn.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jeremy here again. I'm playing Taebong. I'm a Garuda, kind of look, which are bird people, so I kind of look like a falcon, essentially. My mind, I'm going off of like, what is it, a red-tailed falcon?
Hey, cool, yeah.
I think they look cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good feel for the freelance. They've got kind of like a Mongolian, steep Tibetan kind of feel to them.
Exactly. I was trying to go with something like that. I went with Red Top because I know that one more off the top of my head, and I really enjoyed. I like their look. So yeah, my kind of feather tail is red, while the rest of me is brown. I'm playing a Posu, a kind of a gunslinger of sense that uses ink bullets. I'm probably older than most of the group because I come from playing a war between me, my people, and the humans for our independence. So, and we have long memories. So yeah, kind of a grizzled war veteran,
All right,
bird
cool.
person.
And Brennan?
I am playing Minji. I am also a Manyo, a white-haired witch. I am Tom's character's fraternal twin sister. We're not identical. And I am an exorcist of Mu, and I exorcise demons by trapping them in origami.
Excellent. So the start here is kind of a sad one for all of you. You're asked to go attend a funeral of a man that you once knew as a friend or even a master in the case of Enijeja. His name is Master Ryuk of the Black Spear Dancing Crane School, which I'll throw inside the chat because that's a mouthful of a name there. Master Ryuk was famed for the spear that he wielded. You learned that the city that he once called his home, it's a little mountain village. It's actually been recently attacked by some hungry dead. The hungry dead have been cleared out by the Union, and now you've had the chance to actually return to the village. During the funeral preparations, a man in the dark robe with a black hat on comes in. You don't really recognize him. Actually, hold on. Does anybody have the Death Envoy's hat as their item?
No.
Nobody took the hat?
Chris, I know you're disappointed, but no.
So he does have a hat. I just realized that might get a little complicated if somebody has his hat.
But is there only ever one of those hats?
No, there are multiple Death Envoys. Essentially, think similar to like the idea of Shinigami.
Okay.
That's kind of what the
Just instead of Zanpakuto, have hats.
No two hats are identical, but they all have a tiny skull on them.
The Geosung Saja is basically like Grim Reapers, but there's like a lot of them, kind of like in the sense that there's a lot of Shinigami.
All right.
All of you are in attendance, and you can feel this this otherworldly pressure by this being as it moves up to the funerary shrine. Incense are being burned, and you can see people that are just completely oblivious to this Death Envoy. It's pretty blatant to you as Master Ryuk's widow steps through him, and he kind of dissipates into a smoke cloud and reconstitutes as she passes through. He speaks in a soft, hollow voice. This one does not belong to the spirit wilds yet. It seems I am too late, and his spirit has already left for it, though. And he kind of looks to all of you as it recognizes that you can see it. If you wish, you may retrieve his soul before it becomes lost. Each day in the spirit wilds, a piece of him will disappear. If you do not recover him before the time runs out, and he holds up this It's like a 2-foot tall sand hourglass. He will be gone forever. I can create a bridge, but I'm forbidden from returning his soul to his body. And with that, he rotates the timer. And you can see sand that starts white, and as it hits the bottom, it turns black.
I'll take a step forward from it. Oh, noble envoy. Well, this is a momentous and important task. I feel I should ask before undertaking such a thing. How are we to wrangle a soul exactly? Will it not simply pass through our fingers?
When you enter the spirit wilds, the soul will be as if a body on Shaoyun. You can interact with it. You can grab it. If need be, you can drag it back.
I suspect we will, as such these things go. What challenges await us on the other side of the bridge?
The first challenge will be the Guardian. He is an immortal. Do not waste your time. Beyond that, the spirit wilds can be difficult to navigate. I am unable to tell you what trials you will specifically face. But they will have a deep connection with you, more than likely. Friends who have been lost. Enemies. Anyone who has passed and has thoughts of you could become present in your visit.
To those of you watching Kai, she will seem a bit more reluctant than she was a moment ago at hearing that.
Well,
What was that last bit again?
Basically, when you enter the spirit wilds, everything is kind of confusing inside there. It's sometimes referred to as a world of forests and rivers, because the spirit wilds kind of feel that way. There's a lot of bamboo forests, rivers, and as you navigate through them, it's very easy to get lost, and you're bound to find people that have spiritual connections to you. So when he asked, or when she asked, what are we likely to encounter? It's hard for the envoy of death to actually tell you exactly what you would encounter, simply because it kind of depends on who's going on this mission, kind of thing.
Okay, well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think we need to help someone in need, and it's a good person to help. Good man.
Once
I
we
think, yeah.
once we pass beyond the veil, nothing can be trusted. The Fae are tricksome.
Well, you can always trust me.
Nope, not addressing that. Turning back to the envoy, it's like, very well, this is something which must be done. Show us the way.
The Geosung Saja hands you the hourglass. How this is going to play out, because I do want to explain the mechanics to you of how this adventure works, is I have a D8 on my side. It's going to be marked on the 8 side. Certain things you do on this adventure will cost you time, and I will roll this timer down. Other things may not cost you time. Unfortunately, you will not know what you're doing costs you time until it actually does, and there's no going back. That's just kind of the way time actually works. Damn. So be mindful while you're here. You can basically safely accomplish several things, but you will also need to make your way out. If it goes to 0, Ryuk's soul is trapped inside the spirit wilds forever. From there, I will roll another timer, and if you guys don't get out of the spirit wilds by yourselves, you will also become trapped in the spirit wilds. Depending on what you do there, you may do things like ascend, become immortal, and not care that you are stuck in the spirit wilds because it doesn't really matter to you anymore. Or if you're mortal, you basically have your soul rended from your body, and well, actually, their soul would be your body went to the spirit wilds, so essentially your body would be gone and your soul would be rended free. So it's going to be painful kind of thing. So I'm going to start it on an 8 here. As we go through the adventure, I'm going to give you guys target numbers for stuff. If I can manage to figure out where I saved my target numbers, they should be displayed on the screen. If not, I'll just tell you and keep reminding you until I can figure out where I saved them. In fact, let me see if I can find some right now. So, online play assets. I think this is the right thing. Here we go. So, for example, that's what a target number is going to look like. So nice and easy to read. In fact, I'm going to leave that up there because that's going to be my first target number anyways. The Jiosung Saja steps outside, and he takes his finger and he traces what you know to be a gate inside the air. And it's almost like a breeze comes from nowhere. And you can see a gate being formed in front of you out of red lacquered wood. It kind of looks like a Torii gate, more or less. And from the other side, you can see a world that it's like the most lush, glorious spring that you've ever seen inside the Bonghuang Union. There's bamboo everywhere, clear crystal waters of rivers, and different creatures that you have never seen before, different species of birds moving about. It's incredibly beautiful on the other side. This is the Spirit Wilds.
It's a beautiful sight here, eh?
Where are you from exactly?
North.
Of course.
Canada. That's where he's from.
I love that the Soga are from the
Canada.
south.
I'm
Why
a
are they
traveler, but I
Canadian?
mostly come from the north.
Okay.
I just want to point out that he's basically a tall, thin, gray alien, like Roswell Alien,
Kind of.
with that accent, and I love it.
So Canada is in space.
It's the most crunchy granola thing I could think of, and
I like it.
I guess like it.
By north, he means up.
North.
Yes.
All right, so
South.
the gate stands open in front of you, and the longer the gate's open, the more the world on the other side starts to materialize. The forests and rivers start to kind of fade back, and you can see this red lacquer bridge, and there is a stone guardian that stands at the end of the bridge. It seems to be locking its eyes towards the direction of the gate.
Well, nothing this world has ever accomplished with timidity. Kai will walk forward.
Tay will walk forward.
As you step in, the gate behind you closes. You know that, or at least those of you that are connected to magic know that gates like this need to either be open because you need them to stay open, but it's also dangerous to leave these gates open. So the Jiosung Saja has probably closed this for a reason. Things can go both ways when these gates are open.
So we haven't passed into the spirit realm yet.
No, you're kind of in an in-between. This is a shortcut to the Spirit Wilds. You're on kind of like a stone platform, and everywhere around you, actually, the one who's going to feel the most at home here, while everyone else feels kind of this existential terror, is the Zheja. This is a bridge through the Petal of Void.
Okay.
While you are here, your rolls are going to be easy, actually,
Yay.
because I think that's a cool way to touch into your ancestry.
Like it. Like everything about it.
There's a stone bridge with red lacquered wood railings on the sides, like I said, in front of you, and it seems to be the only direction to go.
I walk.
Yeah.
You do the same.
I follow. I'm also looking around it. It's still like very like wondrous everything around us. So,
Yeah, the forests and rivers are further back past the Guardian, but like there's this point where it's like a gradient effect past the Guardian where it suddenly becomes that's the reality rather than this area of void. The area of void it's strange. Like you can see things, but there's this deep Venta black almost everywhere that is not like the stone that you are standing on.
okay.
The area that you were walking, it's almost as if it was lit by like fireflies. Like it's not very lit, but it is lit.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough that we can see it, but nothing like overbearing.
Mm-hmm. On the other side, the stone guardian stands. It is using, because you can see it pretty clear. It has a rather large shield built into each arm. And as you approach and the first one steps onto the bridge, you can see that it lifts up the shields and separates them. And it begins to move towards the bridge. So there is no initiative. How this works is you guys kind of tell me what you want to do. We decide on who is narratively in the best situation to make a move. And then we end turns when I think narratively you've had enough, which is usually just a movement and an action. However, if we think that your movement should continue or your action should continue, we do have that fluidly available to us. This works kind of similar to D&D in a sense. You guys will roll an attempt roll, which will be against the target number over here. You beat that target number, then you are able to do an effort roll, which will deal damage in this case. Little bits about Shaoyun. You guys did learn that the Guardian is immortal. Immortals can only be hurt by other immortals, special weapons, and monsters. You guys don't really fall into those categories except for maybe being like, personality monsters.
Hold on. I think my eyes are pretty monstrous.
I'm a bird person. I'm a literal bird person.
So you're just going to tell them that it's dick move then?
Not a monster in here. Zheja. You can either just fight it and learn about its own strengths and weaknesses, because every monster has strengths and weaknesses, or you can actually make an attempt against the target number to find out what style they are using and what its strengths and weaknesses are. And that can be done for anything you guys come across.
Okay. Again, my character's just going to kind of be the strong silent type.
Totally fine.
Can I make some sort of knowledge check with my knowledge of the spirit realm and everything? What kind of role these sorts of guardians would normally pose and how they are passed?
Yeah, absolutely. So that sounds like you're doing an intelligence check. So that's an intelligence attempt against the 12.
And what do I roll for a dice?
It's going to be a d20 plus whatever modifiers you have to intelligence.
Okay, that is a 20 total.
Okay. So with that, you very clearly beat the 12. So I'm going to give you some information. Basically, what the Guardian does is it protects this shortcut to the Spirit Wilds. Normally, the way to get to the Spirit Wilds is to simply die. These bridges are created by the Geosung Saja to be able to travel between the worlds. They travel in such a way that they are able to avoid spirits being taken by the Fae, The spirit wilds can be a little temperamental. Sometimes Fae do get into it, but they're usually handled by either Jiosung Saja or other immortals that happen to live inside the spirit realms or spirit wild. This thing, what it is designed to do is basically it's not intelligence. It's going to attack anything that is a Jiosung Saja that attempts to use the bridge. But because you rolled so well, you also know that it's a one-track mind. It can only do very simple commands. It's going to attack whoever is the closest to it at all times.
What is a Jiosung Saja?
That's the Death Envoy.
So it's attacking anything that isn't one. Or,
Anything that's not one of those.
Okay.
Okay.
So I imagine as Kai is advancing on the bridge, I'm following her, and I'll share the information. It's going to attack anything that approaches it, but it will only attack one target at a time, the closest.
Oh.
Also, because you rolled real well, I'll tell you another thing about it. It may be immortal, but its shields are not.
And I will share that as well.
Incidentally, I was about to approach and try to negotiate with it, assuming Brendan remembers this information before I attempt to do that. I won't do that.
Yeah, more than likely this is happening chronological, unless I feel that you guys want to do something else.
Yeah. Should we get past this thing pretty quickly? Can we run by it or something?
Will it be able to? It won't follow us once we're inside, right?
You know that it does not move past the bridge. It is entirely designed to be a sentry of the bridge.
If someone can keep it busy, the rest of us can pass, and then it won't be able to follow us.
Well, okay. Any volunteers? This thing's getting really close, and I don't know if I like it.
I will volunteer. I will keep it busy.
My character just from the back kind of pushes his way forward. He looks and he puts his hand on
Just call me
Tai
Tay.
Bon,
Just say Tay.
Tay's shoulder, and he just taps him,
I look back at you.
and then I walk forward past him.
I give him a nod and prepare myself to try to run around this thing then.
Yeah, I'm gonna also try and just run past it.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
You want to run past it without it
I'm-
being able to get any strikes against you. You guys are going to need to give me a dexterity against the target number.
I will reiterate that it will attack whoever is closest. So if
Yep.
you run ahead of,
I said prepare and wait.
run ahead of G, then it will attack you.
That's why I said I'm preparing myself to run past it because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna prepare to run past her once he's got its attention, because and then I'm gonna try and look for openings when I get to the other side to heal people if need.
All right. Excellent. So let's do it this way because it sounds like you're all kind of in the same plan. More than likely, it sounds like Murdoch's probably going to do his turn first, and then the rest of you are going to follow. That way he can get close to the Guardian.
Mhm.
So movement inside this game is a little funny. I don't know if you guys got to that section inside the book. The measurements are basically far, near, close. The way to think about it is like far is the distance that you can shoot a bow and arrow. The near range is like a spear. Close is like a punch. You may also hear the term like it's about a banana away. That's how far is if you were to use the battle map. Well, if you were to use a terrain piece, since there is no grid on it.
So how far? How the distance of how far a single banana is?
Yeah, about a banana. Yep. The creator of this game, he's real big into terrain, and since most terrain doesn't have grids, that was kind of the eyeball measurement that everybody went with for a far move. To give you an idea, this bridge is 2 bananas. I'll typically use the far, near, and close ranges whenever I'm talking about stuff. There is an extra range on the
Bananas.
screen, which is even further than that.
Don't
Usually
worry,
it's like
I'll work my
outside of range.
I'll work my way towards that extreme range, Chris.
Yep. All right, Murdoch. You can tell me what you'd like to do first.
This thing is coming forward, right?
Yeah, it's moving to you because really you're kind of in the lead.
And are we 100% sure this thing is going to attack?
I have no reason to distrust Min.
I don't know.
I was fairly confident in what I was saying.
Okay.
I was going to say Minji seemed pretty confident in what she saw.
I'm going to run forward.
All right. So you move forward to meet it.
Yep.
All right. Would you like to take a strike against it?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm literally just going to stand there, and if it decides to attack me, it decides to attack me. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. This does not have to be vile. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't have to be an angry encounter, and I'm hoping that just my calming actions will help it be mellow.
Okay, cool. All right, so the rest of you, please make a dex against said target number. This is basically to get past its defenses because you're actually actively trying to move past it.
Rolled a 1 for my first roll of the game.
Yeah, I didn't roll so well either. I rolled a 10.
I rolled a 9, and I'll flavor that as when Kai trips, I stop to help her up.
Chris, I rolled a 20.
All right, cool.
Can I make it look like
You
I kind of
succeed with
I soared over it?
Yeah, sure. I'm cool with that.
Like when I make long jumps, I put my wings, my hands out like I'm trying to fly.
So all of you come running towards it, and it moves its shield to the side, and because Zhiyang is closest, you can see it. The chest plate of this creature starts opening up, and you can see what appears to be like a core of a star in its chest, and it just kind of like turns its upper torso and just blasts everybody that failed with let me see.
May I jump in the way?
You can jump in and receive some damage, but it's going to hit all of them anyways.
Oh, then I will not.
That's going to be 10 points of damage. So they're down. Everybody's got one heart right now.
Well,
Yeah.
we're off to a fine start.
How this is going to work is roll a d6. That is your death counter. Each turn that will roll down, but each turn you also get a chance to roll a 20. You get a d, or if you get a 20 on your d20, you pop up with 1 hit point. The person who is, or the 2 people that are still up, what you can do during your turns is go up and basically give your friends a dwarven healing check. No roll required. They get up with 1 hit point because of your heroism.
All right.
So
See,
I
if
rolled a 1.
everybody had wings, they'd soar over it like I would.
Yeah. Okay. That's what we're going to go with for now. For the Jeja, he is not using internal strength, but he is using something very similar to that.
Yes. It's called solar powered.
I look at him, and I nod to him, and I will drop into form. Excuse me while I get the thing. Thank you. Sorry.
So for anybody who's following along, his style is Iron Lotus style. For statistic reasons, we're going to treat it like internal strength tradition.
Iron Lotus style.
Yeah, that's
his.
what it's called.
And mine is inner strength. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to attempt to channel ki into a physical force with con damage, or with con damage with magical effect far range.
Yep. So the way this is going to work is you'll make a con roll against the target number of 12, which is on this side.
Okay.
But it's easy for you because of the effects of the environment on you. So it's actually a 9 that you're trying to hit.
All right. Let me go get a dice. Sorry, I was ill prepared for today. I explained what happened to you offline.
Yep.
Okay. And then what am I adding to this? My
Your
con?
constitution bonus,
Okay.
if you have any.
So an 11.
All right. So an 11 does beat the 9. You're able to deal your magic effort now.
Okay. And my magic effort is a D8 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone roll that for me? I don't have my dice up here.
I got you a 6 plus the 1, so 7.
7. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Your blast hits it, and you can see the creature puts up its shield, and it definitely takes away some chunks from the shield. It's being blasted apart, and it's kind of like it's like if you had a tower shield that was split in half. When he closes it up like that, you can see that splinters of stone and metal are coming sharding off of the shield itself.
Okay.
The Guardian kind of resets itself and begins to move in on you for a strike. But before that's able to happen, our Garuda friend, Tay, you've got a couple friends that are down. By the way,
I am.
if you guys want to share your death saving throw or your death counters with each other, that's totally fine. There's no rule against that.
I'm gonna die next turn.
The Guardian might be a little too strong for a first encounter.
All right, Brendan, what is yours?
Hey, at least you guys were smart and asked about it, because like nowhere in the game do I warn people about that. Like you guys actually asked.
Brendan, are you sharing your number or not?
What is it again?
Your death saving throw is roll D6.
Yeah.
And that's how many
rounds
turns
you have left to live.
All right.
Okay.
You don't have to share it, but by sharing it, it does tell me things.
Who to save?
Go for my sister.
That's what I thought. No, but are you higher or lower than 4?
It is 4.
Okay.
Oh, so
Perfect. I'm gonna go for Tom Prime.
Mm,
You are what is it? I just want to make sure. Kylan. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go for Kai.
Okay.
And if I need to roll a dex check, just let me know. Otherwise, because it
No,
seems distracted.
you're able to move back, which you guys can narrate however you want, but I imagine that you were just past the Guardian.
Yeah.
You heard the beam crackle and like your friends scream in pain. You wheel around, and Kylan happens to be the closest to you, so you dart to her, kind of do that sliding move, and then just like grab her up and give her a good shake to where she comes around.
Get up. And I point. Then once Kylan's up, I point. Go save your sister.
Okay.
I'll get Tangmu.
Before that happens, the other two who are still down, go ahead and give me death saving throws, which is your D20. If you happen to get a 20, you get 1 hit point and come back up.
Okay.
Nope.
It's 19. Oops.
Very close.
So close.
All right. So this is the new round. Guardian's going to move in and attempt to take care of Ji Young. Okay. The Guardian got a 1.
it's going bad lately.
You can clearly see what it's about to do. Like, it's too big. It's telegraphing its movements. It's opened up its shields again, and this time it's going to use it kind of like they are deflectors, and it's trying to knock you off of the bridge. It only occurs to you then that falling off of this bridge means becoming lost in the Petal of Void forever.
I mean, one person
For
might be
you.
okay with that.
Probably okay. For the rest of your party, it means that they will cease to exist and disappear from the memories of their friends and family.
Again,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
Such is life.
yeah. Some people run away from everything, including life. It happens. It is the will of the void.
Think of it this way: if you get lost in the void, you're probably not going to die. You just didn't ever exist.
Yeah, you don't exist and you don't die. It's pretty cool for a little while, and then it becomes maddening.
Yeah, but that little while, man, what a rush.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go back around to the order here. So, Murdoch, I think that you will be next up.
Yep. I'm going to attempt to punch this thing in its throat piece, or in its thing. I want to wait for it to open,
It's whole
and then drill a punch into it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. That is not designed inside the game, but I'll do it. Let's get weird. Next up is going to be our Garuda, Tay.
Yeah. So I told Tangmu what to do. You know who he should go after. So I'm gonna go after
Tongue Moo.
No, Tangmu. I told Kylan. I'm gonna go after Tangmu. I'm gonna go after Todd Scream right there. Tom Scream. And pick him up. Our Canadian friend.
Ooh.
I'll get up to him and just like slap his face. Get up.
Oh, go. Okay. Oh, sure. Hey. Oh, okay. We're still this. Okay. I'm here. Oh.
And if I have time, I will pull out my musket. Just draw
you
it.
definitely can.
All right. And that's my turn.
All right. And for Kylan?
I'm going to help my sister up.
Excellent. So that means that for Minji, you are up. And it comes around to the Guardian again.
I didn't read about that.
What's that?
No, that's what I say. So I did not read about that.
Okay. The Guardian's shield starts to glow. Are you fucking kidding me? The Guardian's shield starts to glow, and it's only then that you notice that there is a ring that is engraved into the shield, and when it comes together, the ring glows, and it starts pulsing, and it sends out this ring of energy, attempting to wrap up Ji Young, but again, the Guardian rolled a 1 and telegraphed its moves like a champ. This is like an old school first raid WoW boss here. You're not really sure what that would have done, but it's definitely different than what it's been doing. Next up will be you, Murdoch.
I go. And then I'll pop it.
Okay.
I rolled. Okay, so I have a question. If I got a 20, what does that mean?
That is a critical success, or
Okay.
succeeding with style is what it's sometimes called in there.
Okay.
Essentially, how it'll work is you do your normal damage, but you're also going to get that D12 of ultimate damage.
Okay, so what's my normal damage for martial arts punch to the face?
So you do not have the belt yet that lets you do ultimate damage. So right now it's just basic.
So basic work. So
So D4
hold on.
plus a D12. Also, your D12 can explode. So if you roll a 12, keep rolling.
All right. Roll a D4. Boom. I got a 4.
Cool.
And then on the D12, I got a 10.
All right, so 14 points of damage. It hasn't even pulled its shields away, and you can hear this sound of stone cracking. It's like thunder sounding inside this just pit of darkness that you guys are in. The shields break away, and all that's left is the Guardian himself. So that eliminates a couple of abilities that he can do.
Can my pet snake talk or no? Is it like legit? Because it says it
Yes.
thinks it's a dragon.
Yep.
My pet snake is going to say something to the Guardian, if I may.
Sure.
It's going to say, Guardian, I do not know to whom you belong, but this fight is over. You should stand down. And I just look at the snake and go, put it back in its pouch.
Okay. All right, so next will be everybody else, because I assume you're just going to keep running, because that was the plan, unless you guys want to deviate. Because now that the shield's gone, you guys have to deal with the fact that it's an immortal, and you really can't do much about it.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck we can't.
I guess we could manage to push it into the void.
That is an option.
Damn it.
I was going to say you cannot damage it directly, but if you push it into the void, that is an option.
God damn it.
That's how you defeat this thing.
I hate you for reading my mind. Because it's right on the bridge by now, right?
Yep.
And the bridge is like, pretty much the bridge is like just wide enough for it.
It's like 10 feet wide. You can get past it. And it's about 40-ish feet long. So, but yeah, you definitely can make an attempt to shove it over the side. Keep in mind, the effects that I told you would happen to you if you fall into the void will also happen to the Guardian. So, I mean, it will cease to exist.
And we'll all wonder why we're all so damaged.
And we will also leave a gateway open to the Fae.
Well, the gate's been closed.
Yeah, but
it will be left without a Guardian.
They can get one.
I was thinking of what it would. Thinking of if that's the option, if that's the only option. But my first goal would be, I'm going to tell everyone, well, the other three who tried to run with me, to get going, and I will hold here waiting for Ji Young to make his way. If we don't have to kill it, we shouldn't.
Don't have to tell me to try and get away from it again.
So essentially, I'm gonna have my musket at the ready, but I'm not going to do much. I'm just gonna sit here and hold my point.
Okay.
And I am gonna try and run past it again.
No need for a roll. It's just kind of the first attempt you guys made.
Because now it's completely
now it's engaged. That was really the main problem, is it wasn't engaged with anyone. So as you ran by, it basically did kind of an opportunity attack against you guys.
Okay.
I'm curious, what sort of action is a wisdom power?
So wisdom power is the same kind of action that like a spell or an attack action would be. So you can move and wisdom power.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Like, as I move past, I'm going to draw my sword and activate Blade Dance.
Okay.
I will not attack, but...
Did you pick a school of magic? Because I think we talked about it a little bit with everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna go for like the dancer.
Okay, cool. So what does the dance actually like look like? Because you actually perform a dance rather than just the name of the spell being Blade Dance.
Yeah. I was going for like a bit of an air motif, so like it's gonna be a lot of very light on her feet with like spinning and maybe some jumps if time calls for it.
Okay. So roll against the target number to activate the spell.
Okay. This is a wisdom power, so I got that, and I don't think anything specific for this. So yeah, that's way better. That's a 15.
Okay. So your spell will happen. Each of you who have spell casting abilities, please take a d4, set it on a 1, and when you cast a spell, or when you fail a spell, it will move up. That's called spell burn, and we'll address that when you guys get to 4.
And that applies to wisdom powers too?
It does.
Okay.
I don't know if do I have spellcasting as a hun?
It's more of, do you have any
Who's that?
spells?
Basically, if you have wisdom powers or something that says like intelligence spell,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't have anything yet,
that's the
even though I plan to.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
I
triggers spell
I think I
burn.
only have 0 on you.
Yeah, that's really what triggers
Yeah.
spell burn. However, we can use spell burn for basically anything. So if, like, I noticed that, for example, Murdoch's character just does key blast after key blast every single turn, it's a way for me to be able to be like, hey, let's mix it up.
Okay.
Hey, I punched.
You did. I just used it as an example.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yes, you should be rolling on a 20 for your attack rolls and stuff.
No, the website.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. Okay, I'm just making a quick note here because there's a couple of abilities he can't use now that his shield is broken. All right, so you guys push past. The Guardian will take a swing at Zhiyang. And it's this movement that comes kind of as a surprise. It's suddenly fast, but you've picked up on kind of the movement that the Guardian does in general. And you can hear before he's actually moving into striking distance, you're able to just kind of take up one hand and push his punch to the side. He missed you entirely because he got a 7. There's no way that he'd beat your armor.
My armor's actually pretty high.
Yeah. I was going to say, he got a 7, so he can't even beat armor of like somebody who's naked in this game. So
Base armor is 10, Murdoch. So the fact that he didn't beat that shit.
okay, so that's his turn. Murdoch, your turn.
I am going to look at him, and everybody else is passed and alive.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of it, still holding my gun towards it to give you some.
I look past you, and like motion for you to. I look past you, and I'm in the stance, and I kind of just look at its knee, and I nod, and then I look out past, like out into the void. And then I'm gonna go like for almost an uppercut to like get him to keel over.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is that I'll get him to keel over, he'll shoot him in the knee, and he'll be kind of like sloped on the bridge like that, and we could just go and throw him over like they do it for Big
Murdoch.
Show at the Royal Rumble.
Murdoch. Yeah. No, this is good because I can actually do you one better.
Okay.
Remember what happens when the Big Show gets slammed in the ring, though. The whole thing comes down.
Yes.
So no, Murdoch. The one thing I can do better is that my gun has the powerful effect. So it can, if I hit with it, I can cause stuff like blowback.
I don't know that. I'm just like, he's got a little puny Western gun. Coward didn't learn kung fu.
No, big ass
Shoot him in the
gun.
leg.
Big ass fucking gun.
What do I add to my punch him in the stomach check?
So how are you striking? Are you striking with like pure strength to try and do this, or is this more of like a finessing strike, like you're hitting pressure points and that sort of thing?
So the idea is to get him to keel over. So I think straight strength.
Okay, so that's the stat you're going to use is your strength.
Okay, so then 15 total.
Okay, so with a 15, you beat the target number. He's leaned over. You can tell that you haven't done damage. What it is you've kind of fulcrumed him over. Like you hit him in a weak spot where his entire body shifted.
Okay.
And follow-up gunshot.
Yeah.
I would also like to assist because fun thing, Blade Dance lets me attack targets at far range with a sword.
It does.
So, like, if you go for a leg, I go for the other leg.
I'm going for the knee.
So while it does that, what does it actually look like inside our story here for your attacks at far distance? Some examples would be something like you slice the air and like the wind cuts them, like a glowing after effect of your sword flies at them, or the tassels that were once ornamental on your sword suddenly become what you grab the sword by, and it slings out further than anybody would have expected. Like those are all kind of ideas there.
Right. As I said, I'm going for a bit of a wind motif in my powers. So basically, she's going to like start a spin. She'll spin around 3 times, and the wind noticeably picks up each time she completes a rotation. And the last one, she sweeps her sword out, and a blade of air lashes through the air and like strikes him in the leg.
So, Chris, by the way, I don't know that I didn't really narrate this, but my goal is to stay under it with my fist, so that way when they take out the legs, we can
you can roll them.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Okay.
So he's taking out one leg. I'm taking out the knee of the other leg to get him knocked over.
Yeah, like I imagine that there's this moment that like we see as the people like viewing this movie where your uppercut comes in and then all of a sudden your hand pops open and we just see you just slide it behind that breastplate that opened up and blasted your friends a minute ago.
Yeah.
All right. Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to hit a very specific, I'm using Dex.
Okay.
I rolled a 22.
Great. Was it a 20?
No, it was an 18 on the dice. No, I have a plus 4 to Dex.
I was gonna say so regular damage, but yeah, blast this thing.
The only problem is
actually don't worry about damage because it is an immortal. So yeah.
No.
I got a mere 19, but
only a mere 19.
That's totally fine. I think with the two of you, you're able to kind of shift the weight of this thing. Like I imagine it's like lifting a boulder, but it's got a lot of push behind it. So now the Zheja just has to like direct the momentum that's now moving. So within a few moments, the creature gets thrown off the bridge, and there's a moment where it's kind of like.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
I actually want to hold it as it's falling. Like I want to keep it held.
Okay.
There is a reason. And my Zheja is going to talk because he can do that. And he'll look down at the Guardian and say, it would be a shame to remove a Guardian and an Immortal from the timeline. And he's going to let the Guardian make his decision. The Guardian can either come back up and know us as friends, or it can be left to the void.
I would like to remind the person who made an intelligence roll at the beginning of this fight. The Guardian is not intelligent.
I was about to chime in. Too young. It's an automaton. It was made for a single purpose, to keep us from crossing.
I just quietly look back at the Guardian and await its response.
You see the Guardian's chest plate open and it like defiantly just blasts into the void like it's trying to strike something, because you're very clearly outside of its targeting systems.
Release it.
All right.
And now we're all very confused.
So for the Keeper of the Hourglass, and I'm just going to say Keeper of the Hourglass because I don't know who actually is holding it, and that's how I'm going to keep addressing it for the session. You look down, the black sand is a little bit more than you thought it was. The timer has moved down 1 tick. But the bridge has been cleared, and the Spirit Wilds are just ahead of you now.
For the sake of one of us having it, I'll say that I'm holding the hourglass.
All right. So I think some of us may need some healing after that.
Hmm.
Oh, well, who needs that? I am known as a quite a fair doctor in some circles. Eh,
Where he comes from, there's free healthcare.
there is free healthcare about. So, who needs it? Whip you up. I got some tea leaves. Very good. Here you go. I hand him some tea leaves that aren't even ground up or anything, and I say, "Put this in your mouth and chew, and breathe in."
Who are you saying this to?
This is to Kylen.
Okay.
But she takes it, looks skeptically like, if I swallow it, will it go faster?
Oh, you don't swallow it. Chew. It's smell it.
I like that there was a very serious moment of don't swallow it.
Don't do that. It's poisonous. Don't do that.
Why is chewing it help?
Oh, it's aromatherapy. Learned it back years ago. Anyway, it's the vapors from the leaves actually help bring healing to you via your nose.
Fine. How?
This is pre Vix.
I like to think of it's more. This is more of probably like a rose
Northern medicine.
tea. Yeah, kind of like it says if you put the scent of a rose flower inside of a tea leaf, and that's kind of what it smells like. It's odd.
You muddle it with your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I grow these around. Haven't used these in a while, actually. These are made for more intense wounds and such, but they help.
We did almost just die.
Yes, anyone else actually need them? I got a few.
How do you feel, Kai?
Do I roll to heal him? Or
So what ability are you using so I can kind of walk you through it?
I think I'm just kind of using my medicinal just awareness of this plant that helps to heal.
Okay.
So
So more than likely you're using your doctor's needles, essentially, your medicine kit.
yeah.
So the way this is going to work is you're going to roll against the target number, which is still 12.
Okay.
And then if you succeed, you get to roll weapon worth of healing.
Do I use do I use wisdom or what do I use for
It
it?
kind of depends on how you describe it. The way you described it, because it's like medicinal type of stuff, I think wisdom probably makes the most sense.
Okay. Okay. Even though I have a +5, I got a 7 because I rolled a 2.
Okay.
So
You said you hadn't used these in a while. As you begin to crunch them, he said that there should be kind of like a rose smell, and you're just not getting that.
Are you sure you got the right leaves?
open your mouth, right? Open your mouth. And I have like this little tongue suppressor thing. Open. Say ah. Yeah. Bigger.
Yeah.
Oh no, wrong ones. Yeah, I don't know where they went. Very sorry about that.
I sent them into the void like they deserve.
Maybe. Oh, I hope I didn't use them on someone else. That'd be bad. They'd be out for a couple weeks. Anyways.
I think it's possible, but you're worse than the government doctors.
Oh well. You don't follow a government, so there you go.
I'm not sure if I should ask.
Did I heal anything from that?
Unfortunately not.
All right.
Do you have anything else?
Well, I have acupuncture, but that's and this paste I made it from tea leaves and
I'll get going.
okay. Okay. If you're sure, hey, this paste is gonna be here. It's in this little jar. Okay. Just let me know if you need
walk
it.
forward, shake my head. Northern
Yeah.
medicine.
All you have to do is rub it on your skin and bite a stick because it does burn.
Oh, this is good. As you cross the bridge, you can see that there is a small, like gathering of things that have been taken from fallen victims of the Shield Guardian. You can sense that they're in this weird realm of being here, but not quite here. If you guys anchor them to yourselves, which is basically pick them up, they become reality before they slip off into nothingness, since the Guardian disappeared into nothingness.
Ooh.
There is a magical amulet.
Oh.
Which, on a weapon attempt, which could be even in an arm strike, of 15 or better, you get to attack again.
Sounds like something for
Yeah.
Chi-Young.
And then there is also a spell, which, depending on who picks it up, I'll tell you what it looks like, because you guys have different schools. A piece of paper, at least for now.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay. It's an intelligence spell called Iron of Body. Since you are, what was your casting style? You were ink.
I
right?
went with vapor in the flavor
Vapor, yeah.
that I'm using paper as supplies.
In that case, it's like a recipe sheet on how to make incense, and like through your idea of magic and your understanding, you're able to glean that if you were to make these, it's basically like how to incent paper. If you were to make it and lay it out inside this goop, the paper would absorb the smells, and as it burned, it would change the texture of the paper to create this spell effect. Which is, it's a metal spell. You can find it inside the spell section, called Iron of Body.
One moment.
You touch an ally to stop the dying condition. On a failure, you add 1 to their countdown clock. So even if you don't get them up, you buy them another round.
How's that different from the dwarven heal check?
Basically, if you fail your roll, you get them an additional turn instead of just failing the roll and getting nothing.
Can you cast Iron of Body from a distance?
It is a touch, so you got to be close to him.
So I'm actually confused too, because Brendan, as in you were saying that the way if someone's dying, they're in their dying countdown, all we have to do is get to them. That's and they wake up. Why waste it? What does the spell do for us that we can't already do?
Actually, that's a good point. I know I wrote this for a specific reason. I may be doing the dying wrong. Let me just double check that real quick.
Yeah, because that seems like it's doing what you wanted, what you're having us do right now.
Yes. In that case, we need to change that spell.
Because that's how dying works, yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll make it far. No, near. Make it near.
Yeah.
And I'll end up rewriting that. But that's a super good catch.
Yeah, that's what I was reading it, I was like, hold on.
Yeah, so this one, you don't have to be next to them. You'll be near. And even if you fail, you buy them an extra round. So that's why you would use it.
And what's this one called again?
Iron of Body.
Yeah.
It is a metal spell.
Okay, I'll explain what it does to everyone. See if anyone's interested.
Or incense.
Oh, incense.
Basically, the way a spell works, even though right now it was written for Vapor because I tailored it around whoever picked it up.
Yeah.
You can actually glean that information for whatever spell casting style you happen to use with his guidance, essentially.
So can we all learn from this spell, or can only one person learn it?
One person
Okay.
can take the spell,
All right, that's what I was just trying
but
to
he
make
can
sure.
basically help you understand the spell. Is what
Yeah.
he does.
And do you have to have intelligence, like spellcasting ability to do it, or can it be
Nope.
like?
Everybody has the ability to cast spells.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just have to be able to beat the target number when you try to attempt to cast spells.
Okay.
It's intelligence because you have to try to beat the DC with an intel roll.
The room DC essentially is like the pressure of the situation you're in. Is kind of the best way to put it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Remember, the number you're always beating is whatever the target number of the scene is.
Yep.
It sounds like something up your alley. Changmu.
Well, I could take a look at it. Try my best. Here. Let me.
Why is he fucking Canadian?
Have you ever
Kinda
used
killing me,
magic?
but it's pretty good at the same time.
Yeah, I'll go and take a look at it and try and glean information off it. Then.
Maybe I can show you the basics, and you can actually make those leaves do something.
Well, yeah, I do. I love my spellcasting is also papers, so
That
so
makes this easy.
yeah, it makes it. I think it'll make it pretty easy. The intelligence thing might might be a hindrance, but
Okay.
all right.
As you guys kind of gather things up, did somebody want to actually take a hold of the magical amulet?
Oh, you didn't see my action? I looked at it, went.
Yeah.
Just put it
Sucker
on.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think
I'm
the
sorry,
only other
it is
person
a
who could-
martial amulet, not magical. I misread.
About to say. Yeah.
I named it. Screw you. It got named.
All right, cool.
It is Amulet of Two Strike.
Mm.
Instead of True Strike.
I like that.
Shut up.
We may have to rename it in the book.
Because that sounds like something a cheesy martial artist would do.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so as you guys leave, you enter the Spirit Wilds, and it's kind of like this shifting back and forth, and you find yourselves following a river, not really knowing exactly where to go. That was one of the things that wasn't really clear to from the Jioshan saga, which was like what you'll face, how to even get where you're going. It was kind of one of these things that like it's a spiritual journey. You'll get there when you get there, and that was kind of your instructions.
Chris, can I actually say something? You mentioned in general that the Garuda tend to be very against the Fae and all that, right?
Yep.
Would I have any like experience, at least not maybe in the Spirit Wilds, but at least understanding their tricks and maybe being able to navigate a little bit better?
So the Spirit Wilds is basically the home of ancestors from Shaoyun.
Yeah.
The Fae actually have their own realms.
Okay. I was confusing it then. No problem.
So, what do we know about the personal life of this man who passed away?
Of Master Ryuk.
Yeah.
You know that he was a master spearman.
I apologize. Steph needs me for something. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
No, fine.
You know that he was, of course, a master spearman. He spent most of his time actually at his temple monastery, teaching anybody who was interested in learning. But he had a deep level of basically responsibility for his students. He's the kind of master that if you used what he taught for something evil or something contestable, he would actually go after his own students. Which isn't terribly uncommon, but the fact that even in old age, like he would always be the one to do it. He wouldn't send his first student. He would always go himself. He was kind of the reason that this village was safe from banditry. You know that he was a father and a husband, and that his school right now will pass to his apprentice, or his first student, I should say.
I should have thought before we came here to bring his apprentice with us. He would have been drawn to him.
I do want to ask one thing, Chris. Do we know how he got the name of the Black Spear?
He actually wields a signature spear that is, it's a hunk of obsidian for the blade, and the shaft itself is a meteoric iron.
Okay.
No matter how hard he strikes with it, the obsidian does not break.
Is there any stories about how he came upon that?
Yeah, there's definitely some stories about it. The most common one is that somewhere in the Freelands, there was a volcano, which you happen to be from the Freelands. There are no goddamn volcanoes in the Freelands.
Yeah, I know that one.
Supposedly, he ripped it out of the magma core of a volcano in the Freelands. That's one of the stories, which you don't find possible at all. But there is a land called Barishtar, which is even further to the south. It's where the rhino-like Karat live. They do have a volcano on that island. So if there's any credence to the story, it was probably actually from Barishtar, not the Freelands.
And last time if I'm correct, I remember the Karat are not only are they spiritual, but they are known smiths.
They are. They also engage in slavery.
Yeah.
Does obsidian have any sort of spiritual or supernatural powers?
There's some superstition around it, but there's nothing like concrete. Like carrying obsidian doesn't turn you into a monster, but there is some superstition that it's considered bad luck. There's another story that basically says that instead of pulling it from the heart of a volcano, he actually spent some time with the Oracle of the Void, which is basically a person that has been chosen by the element of the void to be its voice in the world. And the spear was a gift from them.
Honestly, as ridiculous as that sounds probably one of the most plausible.
As far as like your personal connections with Master Ryuk, you guys can tell me what your personal connection is, because I said that he was your friend, but I didn't go into detail as part of this beginning adventure because we are working together to build a story. So if you want to tell me what your personal connection is, that could be something that helps guide you in the right direction.
I would say that I never hung out in this village much, but at one point when I was first starting, I was a doctor and had no idea anything about the world. I was stuck in a storm, and he was actually there and brought me in for a little while and harbored me until I could get back on my feet. And he's one of my inspirations that I always go around and help people. One of the many people I've met that I have a deep respect for as I've traveled. So I came back for the funeral to see him off.
And you can feel yourself being pulled down a certain direction following a river, and you come to a clearing inside this area where the bamboo hasn't encroached upon the river and felt like it's like almost constricting like the rest of the forest has been. You see a blanket laid out that is finely woven in fabrics that you don't really recognize, but the colors are immensely beautiful. There is a Soga woman that you recognize. Her name is Sea-Sun, the Golden Light. In fact, really, Tongmu, you're the only one who knows her personally. This is a woman that you made a friend with during your journeys, and she's been sending you letters over the years. At one point, she was able to help kind of guide you to where to find the right medicine to help a patient even. You would consider her probably a dear friend. The rest of you actually know Sea-Sun, the Golden Light, as one of the most famous Kasangs in the Southern Kingdom. You know that she died about 5 years ago. She died during a landslide during her trip to Iksu, the walled city.
Would I have knowledge of the death or no?
Chances are you would by now, because 5 years is long enough that you probably would have actually went to go seek her out and found out that she had died during the landslide.
Gotcha. Yeah, I will approach slowly. I'll be like, "Season, is it truly you? It's been so long."
She looks to you and she's got tears in her eyes, and she's kind of pats the mat near her, or the blanket near her. You can see that there's several sitting pillows, and she has some instruments out. It looks like she's been attempting to hold some sort of like entertainment, but there's no one else there except for now you and your group.
Oh,
I don't know this. I've been here so long. I remember this, and she picks up this. It's basically a biwa. It's kind of like a lute almost of Asian design, and she says, "I remember this. I remember the price of my freedom, and I remember the golden light."
would
Please don't leave. I've been waiting for someone to hear my song.
I sit. I just sit behind everybody basically.
I would like to make some tea. And yeah, I'll look to everyone else and I'll be like, if you would not mind, I never truly got to say goodbye.
Time is different for those that have passed Tongmu. What might satisfy her might keep you lost here.
We have no time for this. I agree. This could easily be another trick of. This could easily be a trick of the spirit wilds.
Does not seem like a trick to me. I think
A good trick would never seem like one.
that logic is circular and self-defeating.
She is a friend, and I cannot allow me to at least make some tea for her. We listen as long as it takes for me to prepare and drink some tea. 1 cup. That's all I ask.
Chris, in the stories, is that usually how things sort of go wrong? Is, oh, there's one little thing that I should do, and then like they get lost or whatever in the.
Yeah, the stories of the spirit wilds are very much like, if you find yourself there and you are alive, don't linger, don't eat food that's from there. There are stories where the world feels like the passage of time is different. In some areas, you could be frozen in a moment for several years, while as others, each moment that you spend there, you age 10 years. It's hard to tell. If you'd like to gain some information about the environment around you and see if any of those effects are happening, our target number has shifted to 14 for the scene.
Cool. What kind of check will that be?
It sounds like you're coming from like an analytical angle, so probably intelligence.
That is a 23.
You can feel that time has stopped around you. There is no breeze. There's no song of birds. When you look at the river, because you've become conscious of the flow of time, the river itself is solid, as if it's been frozen in the moment.
Minji's eyes are gonna flash open, afraid, like instinctively grab Kai and tell everyone very sternly, "We must keep moving. We've become stuck here." And she's gonna start walking away.
I mean, I'll follow after her if she's freaking out. I've learned to trust her judgment on these sorts of things.
Okay.
And as Tangmu starts trying to pull out his tea set and all that, I'm going to start essentially keeping him from doing so, saying, "We must go. Time is of the essence. A man's spirit is in peril. Say your goodbyes
You guys
now."
understand what I was trying to say as a GM? Your session timer is currently suspended in its specific spot.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say the opposite thing.
That's
No.
what I was getting, but
I
was
just
gonna
wanted to
play
make sure
along
that I was clear with
going.
you. That was my way of saying, hey, if you stay here, it's not going to cost you time.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say, yeah, times.
That it was that time for us to
Time's
stop, but the
actually
rest of
on
the
your
world
side
is
this time.
Okay, then
ignore everything we just said.
I'm going to just sort of look suspicious in that case then, if I can act a little retroactively, and I'll nod to Tongmu. It's like, I'll try to keep an eye open.
Thank you. I appreciate this kindness. And I will sit down on the blanket next to her, and I will, in whatever way I can, heat tea, or maybe I just make cold tea. But I will start the process of, pouring everyone some and such. Or
she has basically a traveler's tea set of her own. She's got no supplies for it. But the way it works is there's a little candle element that sits underneath a cast iron teapot. It takes a little longer to make your tea with this, but it's got a certain flavor when you use a cast iron teapot that is very potent. It's like using a cast iron skillet. Like as it ages, the tea becomes much better from it. As you pick it up, you recognize it to be a teapot that you've used in the past in the real world. In fact, your home in the north, it's now on your shelf.
I've seen this before. This is a good pot. This will be good tea, my friends. And I'll put my best tea leaves into this.
Okay. What I'd like you to do is, this will help everybody too. Let's go ahead and make a roll against the target number, but it's easy for you right now because you're using a teapot that has sentimental value. So it's actually going to be an 11 for you.
Okay.
If you succeed, everyone who drinks from the pot will be able to heal a weapon die.
Okay. Is this wisdom or?
Yeah, probably wisdom.
Okay. Then the total will be a total 20.
Excellent. So give me a 1d6 roll because that's what your weapon would be.
Okay. Okay, so it's a 4 on the die.
Okay. Do you have anything that says like next to your weapon effort, like or weapon damage on the character sheet?
I have magical effort of 3.
Not that one. The one that says magic, or the one that says weapon, rather.
So no.
Okay. So you said you had a 4 on the die?
Yeah.
So everybody who drinks from it will heal 4 hit points.
And we were at 1 if we were brought up earlier, right?
Right. So you're up to 5 now.
Cool.
As the tea gets passed to me, I just politely.
No.
Okay. She begins plucking the strings, and it's kind of slow at first. And then all of a sudden, there's this spirited movement. The song picks up. It goes faster and faster. And for Kailin, you can almost feel that there is some magic to her song. Like you can't help but think inside your head the proper dance moves that would go with this. What she is conveying to you through song is a spell that if you want it, you can have it, or we can give it up to the group, that sort of thing. It's called paper magic. That's the one that people are super excited about. It's the one that basically, it's an intelligence wood spell that magically you create origami that acts out a story told by a target. If the story is wholly false, the origami burns up. If it is partially false, just the edges singe.
Oh, that's cool.
I already have it.
Okay.
I could learn it, I guess.
This would be useful to me as a kissing, as a form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So if no one else, I'll take it.
I would like to put in my name for it as well,
All right.
since it tends to help with anytime I'm outside of my lands when I don't know where I am, it
All right.
gives me the truth.
Hello, Jeremy.
Hi.
All right. 6. All right, so I take it.
All right.
Okay. As she finishes her song, she gives this very light smile. It's the kind of smile that you get from Kasangs when you go to a house of entertainment. There's a moment of pride in her, and she becomes kind of one with her surroundings. She starts to kind of become a little bit more translucent until she finally fades away. She has passed on to the petal of rebirth. Or excuse me, the petal of death. You know that there is a karmatic cycle. She will go to the petal of death, be processed, go to the petal of rebirth, and then back to Shaoyun, essentially.
I will say, as I pick up whatever, if she was drinking tea, then I pick up her teacup. If not, I start collecting everyone's, and I say, may you pass back to the Shaoyun soon, my friend. That's all.
Okay. Would anybody else like to tell me what their connection to Master Ryuk is to help guide you on the next leg of the journey?
I can say something.
All right.
You said Master Ryuk is old. Is pretty old for what he is, right?
He was around during the war. He's one of
Yeah.
the few humans that still was.
I'd like to say I met him when I was young as well. Not too long after the war. After my people gained independence and all of that. As a soldier myself, when the war ended, I was lost and didn't know what to do. So I started wandering. I found him while he was still out. I'm gonna say before he even got the Black Spear. That's why I was like, I don't understand how he came about with that.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me how to at least let go of my grudge towards humans because of the war, at least to tolerate them more. So we developed a friendship because of that, and I moved on. And I haven't seen him in years, but I decided to come back anyways because he was one of my first human friends.
So, if he was your friend, who was it that pushed your character, that really made you that kind of fueled the fire of hate that you had? There was definitely one person that was kind of like the source of frustration for you.
Yeah.
When you first started your journeys.
It was a man that I never fully knew his name. He only ever went by what is it? Sorry, the Red Stripe. because of he always wore a what's it called, oh my god, I can't even think the word, a sash, a red sash.
Okay.
No matter what he wore, he always had a red sash. He killed a friend during the war, and he got away with it. And I was never able to find him after that. And that's what drove me to start wandering. And then so I met one time who got me to let go of a lot of my hatred towards him, even though I still at least have a little hatred towards this guy, even though I know by now he's probably dead just due by age.
He definitely is dead, because he is the next challenge that is in front of you. There's a man with a red sash. He is well into his 30s. He appears to be quite strong and disciplined despite his age, but you can see him grinning with that same kind of like gap-toothed grin that he smiled at you as he did unspeakable things to your friends that just wanted to travel to Shaoyun to see what it was about. Why did you go to war with this army? You were looking just for simple answers when he decided that you didn't deserve them and they didn't deserve to live.
All right. As I see him grinning, as I see him just standing there like he's always been there, I'm going to pull out my musket and look for cover by a tree or some sort. And I'm going to tell everybody to prepare themselves. There's someone there who, if given the chance, would have no problem killing them. And I'm gonna essentially start just taking shots at him if nobody stops me. That's why I warned everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Now be careful. Thank you.
Just stand back. If you can't, if you're not gonna if you're not gonna join, then you're no use to me here. I can't. Essentially, my mind's traveling back to when I fought him back in the war.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the more seasoned person that I am, fighter that I am now, but more fresh recruit when I originally met him.
Okay. We'll start the order off with you going for cover. If you wanted to like have a statistical improvement for you, what you can do is roll against target number. And then if that works, what I will do is provide you some bonuses. Actually, screw that. I'm not going to make you roll for it. When he goes to attack you, so long as you're behind cover, it's going to be harder for him to hit you.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to start, preparing my gun ready to take shots at him.
Okay. Let's go to, let's see here, Minji.
I will run for cover, and
Okay.
I will. I'm going to focus on the environment around us to see if any time wibbly wobbly things start happening. Because I have a strong feeling that this might be a behavior that's meant to suck him in.
Target number, please. And probably continuing the intelligence run.
That is a 15.
There's nothing strange about how time is passing here. It's passing normally. What is a minute feels like a minute to you. It's kind of hard to tell, but you're fairly certain that everything is flowing the way it should.
Sorry, my headphones cut out there at the last bit.
Everything's going normal.
Everything feels like it's flowing the way it should. I can't say that you are like 1,000% certain, but like you definitely feel like confident that time is flowing as it should.
Okay.
Death is but a door. Time is but a window. I'll be back.
The door.
I'll let him deal with his personal issues.
Okay. The man across the way pulls out a straight silver sword, and this is a sword that that Taebong recognizes. It's the sword of the Child King. He rears it back, and he goes into kind of this high stance where the sword is very high up, and he's got one hand extended out. He begins moving towards the trees, and you can hear the soft tap of his like padded shoes on the ground as he begins to charge towards you. He will strike out, stabbing into the bamboo that you're kind of taking shelter behind. The sword slices through, splitting the bamboo and cutting into your shoulder for... sorry, I have to find the right dice here. 1 point of damage.
Okay.
All right, 3 points of damage. I forgot he has a bonus to that.
All right. All right.
And let me just double check how this one works, because he's in a stance here. Please roll a d4 for yourself.
Got it, 2.
All right. So at the end of your next turn, you will roll the counter down, but take 2 points of damage. And then at the end of that turn, you'll take 1 point of damage and roll the counter down.
Oh, what is it, bleed?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right.
So I think instead of biting the top of your shoulder, because it's a bleed, he like actually comes in underneath your armpit and hits like a major vein, or artery rather, there.
Yeah.
From there, let's see here. Tang Mu?
Seeing my friend getting hurt pretty bad, am I near him at all? Because what I would like to do is I would like to send one of my tea medicinal tipped needles in his direction and try and heal him.
Yeah, I think he's near because he just kind of ducked into cover at first.
Okay, so I would like to dip it in a pre-prepared vial of tea, and it just soaks for a second, and then chuck it in his direction. As a way to keep it like bacteria from, or like it from getting infected or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So do I roll?
So you roll against the target number because you're using your healing needle thing.
Yep. So 15 with because
you'll beat the 14 that is the target number. So your spell's effect will happen, which is magical healing at range, basically.
Okay.
What is magic effect?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Nice.
I roll a D6, right?
Magic effect is D8.
Oh, D8 plus the magic effect. Okay, cool. Total of 8.
Oh,
Okay.
I heal like a champ.
Yeah.
That doesn't get rid of the bleed, right, Chris?
It does not.
That's what I thought.
Keep you up for a little bit.
That'll
Though.
either take a medicinal check, like an actual like healing, or it
Just
will go away.
Let it run its course. All right.
Okay. So next up is going to be, let me just double check something real quick here. Yeah. Okay. Next up will be Kylin.
Should I get involved? I'm gonna say no for now. Though I will draw my war fan before skipping off to the side and like taking cover behind a rock or something.
Okay. Jiyoung.
They're attacking my friends with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Or he is. Is this an immortal or a representation of the master?
This is a martial artist who has passed away. You can tell that he is, because one of the things that happens to undead creatures in the spirit wilds that linger too long is they become hungry dead and eventually break into the real world again. He is emanating rage. He is probably going to become a hungry undead if not dealt with.
I will
And he
move.
would be a terrible one to become an undead because he does seem to be pretty skilled at martial arts.
I will move forward and I will bow to him, and then I will take stance, and I will prep myself for a sword attack. I wish to try to catch his sword so I can disarm him and take away a good part of his ability.
Yeah. So same thing. Target number.
Okay, sure. I just love, by the way, that you point up. You're like, target number.
I got to remember that it's my left hand.
I get a 16 on the die plus whatever stat I'm using.
Okay. So kind of explain to me what do you envision it as? Because like you're gonna succeed. Are you like doing kind of like the flowing motion of like you move with his movement and then just kind of like take him a little off balance, or are you going to do like just basically break his grip? Like how you explain it kind of depends on what stat we end up using.
So my idea is my character isn't a flowing type character. He's definitely like a more of a brawler. That's why I keep the fists up.
Okay.
He'll as he comes in, he notices that he's been doing understrikes and coming up. So how he deals with it is as he comes up with the sword, he comes through and then axe kicks the sword straight down to the ground under his foot to disarm him.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those things where like the sword embeds itself in a rock and he has to like tug at it for a second or two. Like it's basically useless. Like it's not like it's been thrown away from him, but he's gonna have to actually like take an action to unembed this thing.
Yeah. And I'm going to just afterwards, because I assume that like my foot is still a little bit on the sword. You know, I just kind of do the switch back and go to get him to come at me.
Okay. He kind of like grimaces at the thought of like fighting anyone except for Taebong, which by the by is Taebong's turn.
Yes. Because I know his tactics. I know that was one of the strong things that he could, no matter how good of a shot you were, he was always good enough to get in close, which is why he was such a terror to most of us Gruda. I'm going to push back from my cover, which he pretty much destroyed, and just back up a bit and then take a shot quickly at him as I'm backing up.
Okay.
All right, that is an 18.
That definitely hits him.
All right. And that's a D6 for weapon damage.
All you got to do is beat the target number, so don't worry about like if you beat the 14, you can just say I hit him and then tell me what your damage is.
All right. That is that's gonna be 5 weapon damage to him.
Okay.
As I take a shot, I'm trying to hit the shoulder that I know he's stronger on, which is his left shoulder. He's a lefty.
Okay, yeah. You take the shot at him, and there's like this moment where he loosens his grip on the sword that's now embedded into the rock, and he takes like a half step back, and he breaks into his own stance. Looking at him, he seems to be moving with kind kind of a low stance that's got his arms at an equal distance. It's kind of like a low horse stance almost. The red sash will go next, or red slash.
I call him red stripe, but you can say red
Red
slash.
stripe, yeah.
It's just I had the red sash in my head, and I
Yeah.
was trying to come up with a cool name. I guess red sash is probably better than what I said.
Okay, so I'll stick with red sash then. He is going to strike out against not Taebong, rather Jiyoung, because Jiyoung embedded his sword and you shot him, which got him away from it. He's going to lash out at you. Does a 4 hit you? I don't think so.
It does not.
Yeah, these dice are not liking me right now.
They like me, so you can keep using them.
This is an anticlimactic here.
Hey.
You can see that as he goes in, his kind of low stance, it's more forward and open as he starts to come in, and you can see that he is attempting to strike at your joints, and there are these like half closed punches, and you can tell that when he hits, he's gonna thunder into those joints when he hits. He's using the binding style.
Isn't that what I'm weak to?
Or sorry, no, you are weak to storm. He uses the storm style. I read the wrong thing.
What a prick!
That's part of his design.
To be a prick?
Yeah. So actually, let me redescribe what
Like I
he
said,
did.
the dude got away. He's a prick.
His stance is open. He utilizes your own movements against you. So I think what actually happens is there's this exchange where you start to kind of throw these testing blows, and he kind of like catches and moves you, but he's not able to land a blow on you. It's kind of this back and forth moment for a second.
So wait, internal strength, by the way, is what I am. I'm weak to binding.
Okay. Yep. I'm reading it wrong. Yes, he is binding. So joints.
Okay.
His real ability is adapting to be the opposite of what you are.
Yes.
Yeah,
basically.
anytime.
Oh God,
That's what he's
Gary-
designed to do.
he's Gary Oak.
Gary Oak, the red sash.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's actually Red's T-shirt. He after Gary Oak killed him. With a Pidgeot, no less.
Oh, that's right. I'm the.
So yeah, like he's not able to get a stance in, but you can tell that if he does strike, that momentum is going to carry with force on you.
Good enough.
Let's see here, and then next is going to be Minji.
Do I know how exorcism works on spirits in the spirit realm?
I normally put them in the spirit realm. I don't know how to take them out of the spirit realm.
Is there like a double
exorcism-
spirit realm?
I was going to say exorcism normally removes them from like inhabiting someone. They're not
Right.
inhabiting anybody right now. I don't think it's going to have an effect.
Okay.
You know what? I like it. It's a creative idea. How about this? If you are able to do it, it's going to immobilize him for the round.
Okay. I'll start it. It takes 1d4 rounds, but so first I have to do the intel check. I hit,
Okay.
and I just sort of
And you roll a d4, and basically each round you roll that d4 down until it gets to 1, and then your effect happens.
okay. And I just sort of take out a piece of paper and staring at the red sash, I just sort of fold along with his movements rapidly.
He like hisses in anger, and you can feel the forest around you becoming angry. The bamboo stalks that are around you start lashing and moving about wildly. They strike out at each one of you. I need a strength check to not be grabbed by the crazy possessed bamboo stalks.
From all of us?
Ooh, that's a natural 20. Yay.
Not 22.
Hey, there we go.
I beat it.
Let's go, Tom's.
I fail.
Tom's cheated. They used they copied off each other.
He stopped you from casting exorcism.
Now, does that completely break off the spell, or if I can maintain concentration again in the future?
It does.
Okay.
Exorcism is designed so that basically you are forced to move back while your party supports you, so you can do the thing.
Okay, and now does that use up a
It does not move you up on
Okay.
spellburn.
Well, but what about the
Oh, for your supplies? No, because you didn't fail. You don't waste your supplies.
my headphones cut out again there.
You don't waste supplies because you
Okay.
didn't succeed.
You only waste supplies when you fail.
Okay.
Or you fail, yeah. That.
Okay. For those of you that are grabbed, you are immobile and not able to move from where you are. Since you were casting a concentration thing, that's what caused it to stop. And you can tell that it now has 2 enemies in its eyes. Next up is going to be Tongmu.
I will see Ji Young in there, and I see he's very hurt. And I will actually this time I will take a needle and I will chew a tea leaf and I will spit on it and then throw it. So I use the saliva to activate the chemicals innately in the leaf.
That's a good image if you're like stapling tea leaves to people.
Yeah. So here, take your tea leaves, and I try and aim it directly into a part of their body, which is more receptive to
You aim for chakra points. I gotcha.
Yeah. All right. This one is an 11.
Too bad it went to your eye, because that's a chakra point.
Yeah. So I failed. That's a magic. So do I my 6 goes down to a 5 or something, right? For vapor?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, and that's all I do.
And I think for the flavor of it, like you throw your needle and it starts vaporizing in the air, like it kind of like combusts on itself and the whole thing just goes into nothing.
Faulty needles.
That's right. Blame the equipment.
Fucking Canadian.
All right. Next up will be Kylan.
All right. I'm gonna come to the aid of my sister and cut out the bamboo to release her. And since I'm in a bamboo forest, I might as well use my cloud walking shoes to do the cool bouncing off the various bamboo shoots before I come in and slash
That's
it.
exactly what they're there for. Simply to say, I'm awesome and I run on bamboo stalks.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be doing it incorrectly if you weren't doing that.
I don't have cloud shoes, and I would attempt to do the same thing.
Yeah, you would have to beat the target number. He just gets to do it, or she just gets to do it.
Yep.
All right. Do I have to make an attack against the bamboo, or?
Yes, make a roll against the target number, and that's going to basically break her free.
All right. Yeah. That's a 15.
Okay. With a 15, you are able to beat the target number. So your sister comes to you, Minji. I keep forgetting that Brennan's name's like way up at the top. Minji, and with 2 quick deft slices, you can feel the bamboo loosen and break into like chunks around you. You find yourself free of the bindings. Next up is going to be Ji Young.
Ji Young is going to indulge this man in melee combat. So, Ji Young, I rolled it. I got a fucking 20 on roll 20, like a beastie. I rolled the D8, which is a 4, plus my +1 for magic thing for 5. Rolled the D12 for ultimate, and this is all on roll 20. Got a 12 +1. So
you said roll the D8 for magic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you're using your stance. Gotcha.
Oh, my key blast.
Yeah.
So rolled that, got a 12, and then rolled it again and got a 3. So I got 5, 10, 23 damage.
23 damage. Dang it. His special ability will not go off. You hit him, and the key blast just burns a hole through his chest. It's kind of like the Thanos disappear to dust snap as he just fades into the breeze.
As once he's gone,
He literally has an ability. If you don't kill him in one blow, he just gets to heal and be a bastard some more.
is the sword still there?
Yes, it is.
I take the sword. I look for a name or an engraving or something.
Yeah. Actually, Taebong knows the name of this sword. It's the Sword of the Child King.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go motion if I don't find a name on it. I'm gonna motion to put it in my obi. So,
I will tell him to be careful, as that is the Sword of the Child King. It is. There have always been rumors that it can drive the wielder to fights that it would normally avoid.
I drill it into the ground where the man was. I get a little dirt and I say a prayer and hibbity bibbity it, and I go.
So I've been rolling loot. I'm gonna let you guys start rolling for loot. Give me a loot roll, which is basically D100.
I got you, fam. Roll 20's been
No,
on.
Murdoch, I got this. I got
a
this.
greedy little Amugi as your
Murdoch,
pal, so
I
you
got
get to roll
this.
twice.
That is an 88.
I got a 25 and a 99.
25 and a 99. Okay. So looking at the belongings that were left behind, you're able to find that he has a copy of The Compass of Martial Arts, Volume 3.
Fuck yeah, I take that bitch.
It is one of 4 tomes to learn the directional styles. This one covers the southern element of martial arts.
Not the Canadian version.
I was about to say, it's the one that's really good against Tom's character.
Oh no, not this one. Anything but this one.
It's
And
Mexican
then what was
style.
your other number? Not the 25, but the other one.
99.
99. Ooh. I think that's good item territory.
Could be something to do with the red sash itself.
It's if I'm looking at this right, I think it's sacred water.
It is sacred water. Which is raise one dead creature back to full hit points. Item is destroyed. Only works on immortals, though.
Wait, what?
It only
Immortals.
Oh, no, I
Immortals
get
and
it,
mortals
but-
are different.
But I thought
Immortals is
die.
the Chinese version of immortals, which means they can die. They just can't die from mortal means.
Okay.
They're Highlanders, man. They got to
Yeah.
cut each other's heads off and shit. It's weird.
And we can reattach that head.
Do I know what this sacred water is, or do I just water and I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah, you absolutely know what it is. It's like one of those things when we play ICRPG, everybody has identify all the time.
Okay. I do this to Ngomi?
To who? Tangmu?
Tangmu. I don't say anything. I just
Yes. What is? Oh, okay. No.
I imagine a little gourd with a cork stopper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
clearly labeled sacred water on the outside with
And masking tape and Sharpie.
The label's like kind of like turned away from me, so I'm like sniffing it. Wait, what's this?
I just turn it.
Oh, I thought it was tea. Oh, ew. It's very good. Keep that, eh? I'll find a place for it. Okay.
All right, so you tuck that away in your gear.
Okay. Right, sacred water.
So now that the fight is over and you've collected your stuff, you take a look at the hourglass, and it has progressed forward again another tick. You were down to 6 now. We have 15 minutes left. If we go into another scene, depending on what I roll on this chart, it could be bad. So let me roll, figure that out, and then we'll figure out if we continue. Oh, no, this one's super easy. Okay. I got a typo. Bad job, me.
We could go into the next one and leave it on a cliffhanger.
I don't think there's a way to cliffhanger this one.
Okay.
You find yourself moving through the wilds again, and besides the two that have already said it, who wants to tell me about their connection to Ryuk?
Okay. I suppose I can go. One day, some years ago, I was actually hired in my official capacity by the village near his dojo. Is that what it would be called?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Near his dojo. And I performed my duties, and he came and noticed me. And he noticed just by looking at me that I had martial potential.
Hold on real quick. We can't play any sort of Eastern game, and you say, he noticed me.
Don't do it.
No.
Well, funnily enough, he noticed my potential, and for the short time I was there, I did actually spar and train with him for a little bit. The offer was technically open for me to join. Well, I couldn't because 1, I was a Kisang. I couldn't exactly give it up. And 2, we both realized that I wanted to follow the way of the sword, not the spear.
Okay. Chirisu is the name of the city, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Or Chirisu, rather. Yeah, so you are kind of thinking about this, and you come across a fictional character is kind of the best way to describe it. Pretty much every school has some telling of who the founder of the initial form of sword combat in Shaoyun is, typically referred to as the Great Sage. And you can see this man who is often identified by the fact that he carries 7 different swords with him of different makes and styles. He is sitting on the ground and the swords encircle him. He seems to be in meditation, and you can clearly tell looking at him, he has escaped the cycle of reincarnation. He is here as an immortal. He doesn't seem lost. He doesn't seem like he's forgotten anything. Everything is crystal clear to him. He opens his eyes after a few moments and sees all of you. Any number of you can choose to walk my path, but if you do so, you must commit fully. I offer the path to enlightenment. At any point, should you turn back for whatever reason, there will be no way to return to this path. Enlightenment can be found elsewhere, but the path I offer you will be closed forever. He kind of like holds his hand out, like, sit with me if you would like to become an immortal.
I go. I'm always seeking enlightenment. I walk forward. I sit.
Okay.
I'm also going to do it.
I feel enlightened every day. I am with good people. I will pass. Thank you very much, though, for your offer.
I will sit, saying after I sit, I will say, I've always been looking for a different, a different way of life to see, see what would happen. I guess this is one way.
So, what kind of time commitment are we talking about here?
What's the schedule like?
So, I mean, if you want to figure out how time moves in this area, I could answer that question, but enlightenment is questionable. I can tell you the effects of what happens if you choose to walk the path of enlightenment mechanically is you sit out for the rest of the adventure if somebody refuses, and that person or people will continue the adventure without you. However, at any point during the adventure, you can say, I abandon the path of enlightenment to go save my friends. If you do that, you can't go back. If we get to the end of the adventure, regardless of the outcome for everyone else, you will reach enlightenment if you do nothing.
Wait a minute, what? So I'm out for the rest of the adventure?
Yeah, pretty much.
Peace.
I was going to say, if you are very adamant in staying on the path, yeah, you could definitely walk away from the table, but basically the way it works is your character's not playable at this point because you're walking the path of enlightenment. And at any point you can choose to say, hey, I abandon the path of enlightenment, I'm going to join my friends. When that happens, you will immediately be in the scene with your friends, but you will not gain enlightenment through that specific way. There are basically thousands, and I put in air quotes, ways to achieve enlightenment. So if you go down this path and you have to abandon it, it's not like you will forever not be able to be an immortal. It's just this guy will not teach you anymore.
How long is forever? Do I have the idea that so in game I will not be able to play this character not just for this part of the campaign but permanently because I'll be walking
just until this part of the adventure is over.
Until we save Master Yuke.
Or everybody else
until everyone else saves Master Ryuk because you're not doing anything.
Or we all decide to become immortals and then, adventure's
over. To be fair, I'm just going to say this. I have already dealt with two of you, the fucking Guardian and the fucking big guy. I haven't taken shit damage yet. Y'all motherfuckers need to start pulling your weight and actually doing things in combat.
Whoa. I have been.
Motherfuckers, y'all need Jesus.
Well, we have Canadian Doctor who doesn't really fight much. We have
I don't.
The one who talks a big game but doesn't do anything. Brendan. And then
I thought you meant my NPCs.
Where's that coming from?
I'm talking about combat wise. You've talked a big game, but you still haven't done shit.
What did I say?
I said you talk a big game.
When did I say I was going to kick something's ass?
That's the problem. You could have fucking paralyzed this dude.
You've had every chance,
but you didn't.
To be fair, I don't really give you chances to fail.
No. Really the only two heavy combat. There's only 3 heavy combat focused characters.
I want to walk away from the party to seek enlightenment.
You absolutely can. All I need from you is to just make sure that you don't abandon the path to rejoin your friends. That's all.
We're here to save the soul of a
the bright side is if they all die on this mission, you get to be an immortal and they make new characters.
Or we get to be an immortal and they keep the characters and they just
I'm a traveler who can't be tied down, so sitting in one place is not something I like to do too often.
The backpacking Canadian doctor.
So, Chris, I will have to rescind my offer because I didn't know that that's what would have to happen. Because I figured I would know that ahead of time.
I'm going to ask this teacher how long it's going to... actually, I won't ask how long it's going to take.
Yeah, he gives you some gobbledygook answer that does not answer your question.
Yeah. No, I don't ask how long it's going to take. I just look at the dude with the clock, and I look at the clock, and then I look up at Brendan's character, Minji.
Mm-hmm.
Mange. I look up at Mange. That is super
Minge.
racist that
Just
that just
minge.
happened, by the way. I apologize.
Just call him Minge.
Min.
No.
I look at Min.
Yeah.
Again, I look at Min. I look at the clock, and I look at Min, and go kind of give him that face that says, "Mommy, do I have time?"
Yeah.
You'll be. I don't know what your ties to Master Ryuk are, but you will be abandoning him.
I look at the spirit, and I just go, and I get up, and I go,
Okay.
Yeah. Like once it becomes clear what's going on, like I'll get up to it. It's like I'm accepted this quest. I can't abandon it.
I then I speak to the person who is sitting down with the swords, and I say, "See, I'm enlightened with good people."
And that's the end of the sitcom episode.
The great sage gathers up the swords and begins placing them on his body, and he says, "There are many paths to enlightenment. If yours takes you with friendship, then it will be more fulfilling than even my own path." He bows to all of you, and he kind of like walks away, but it's like he disappears.
I'm gonna learn to do that someday.
I was great. Does it look like he's like he passes by a single tree and then he just never shows up on the other side?
I was gonna go with one of those like heat vapors from far away, and he just kind of disappears into it.
All right.
Must learn stylish exit skill.
Is very,
Well, it is a heat vapor
very
thing.
Spoopy, eh? Look at that. Got a lot of spoops.
So, yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end it this session. I wanted to see if anybody was gonna take the devil's offer there.
It's not really the devil's offer, right? It's just a dick move.
Yeah, but your friend could come back immortal.
Exactly.
That could be really helpful in another adventure.
Exactly. That
Hey,
means
bro.
that we can go through these, and I'm like, I'm like, fuck you, man. You can't kill me.
I mean, you all could have became immortal and just abandoned Ryuk's soul.
Totally down for that. Nah.
That'd be so out of character.
We'll probably finish this next session because it doesn't take terribly long. We took a little extra time just kind of walking through mechanics and stuff, but normally this should take probably about one session to get through.
"Damn it! So I could have taken it, and I only would have sat out for a session."
Probably a session
Yes.
or two, yeah.
But the thing is, you're like you're the most fighter type, and I mean, without you, I'd have to actually do more.
I was gonna say I would want you to still be there. That way you still have to face the choice. There's no like, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks and be an immortal.
Nope, it's just you'd have to be like, oh man, everybody's dying,
Because ideally, I want to basically kill the rest of them while you're trying to be on the immortal path, to where you really have to choose immortality or save my friends.
But Chris, you say this, right? But the way I look at it is this. Well, he does that. We all come in with new characters, and we repeat the process until everybody's eventually immortal.
It is possible. I mean, Ryuk's soul will probably be sacrificed and long over by the time that happens.
Yeah, but Murdoch could have been an immortal.
All right. So we will meet again for Thursday.
Yes.
For everybody who did tune in and watch the game. I didn't pay attention to the comment section because I'm usually pretty bad about that as a GM. It distracts the shit out of me. So if you did comment, I'm sorry I didn't see it. I'll see it on the playback thing, and then I'll probably comment to you inside the doobly-doos comment section, peanut gallery, whatever you want to call it. If you are interested in Shaoyun, there is a free link to the beta inside the doobly-doo. Please feel free to download it, play it at your tables. It is a system that can be applied to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as well, or really any version of D&D, because it works very similarly. I also encourage you to check out the game that it is based on, ICRPG, which was previously on a bundle pack and may still be last week or 2 weeks ago when that happened. But it's platinum bestseller on DrivethruRPG or Mithril, one of those.
It was Mithril.
Super good. That's what I know. Mithril. There we go. So for everybody that did tune in, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you at the gaming table.